Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran and welcome to SBL orientation. And this orientation is both for March 24 and June 24 students taking my SBL pre-recorded course over the portal. Now, just before starting the orientation session, I would just briefly like to introduce myself as a tutor. I am Kashif Kamran, a fellow chartered certified accountant, and I have a certificate in international auditing, and I am a CA finalist from the Institute of Chartered Accountant of Pakistan. In terms of my teaching experience, it's been 15 years since I am teaching the ACCA qualification, and I teach paper AA, AAA, and the SBL paper since it started from September 2018. Prior to that, I was teaching the P1 and the P3 paper. I am a registered mentor for Oxford Brookes University Research Analysis Project. In terms of my affiliations, I currently head and own my own digital learning setup, which is known as Kashif Kamran's Digital Learning KKDL. I'm also connected with PAC, which is a gold approved learning provider of ACCA in Lahore, Pakistan. And I also have a collaboration with Zivid College in India. My pass rates are exceptional. My pass rates are higher than the global averages for SBL. So in each and every exam setting, there are excellent results which are produced by my students, including nationwide positions. So this is my short tutor profile. Okay, now how can you reach me? The very first is very, very important, which is the email, because this is the email you will be using right across your pre-recorded course whenever you need to send me a past paper answer for checking purpose and you want me to review your assignments. So any assignments will be emailed to me at a designated email ID, which is sblkashifkamran@gmail.com. The rest is all my social media, where you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on LinkedIn, you can follow me on my website, my Facebook page, and the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is important because I keep uploading some informative videos about AA, AAA, and SBL for the public, for the students who are not connected with me and are unpaid students. So this is how you can reach me. Okay, now to the agenda, and the agenda is to investigate SBL. So let's start investigating SBL paper in depth. Now, there are four aspects which I would try to cover in number one, the brought forward knowledge, number two, the syllabus, number three, the paper format and the changes which has come to the paper format since September 23 exams. That is very, very important. I just need to reinforce that. And then the technical and professional marks, and the split between 80 marks and 20 marks needs to be discussed upon. Okay, let's first discuss the brought forward knowledge. Now, in terms of the brought forward knowledge, you know that Strategic Business Leader is the strategic essential paper of ACCA qualification, and it is right after the applied skill papers. So right after the applied skill paper means you should have the knowledge of the applied skill papers. When you're sitting in the Strategic Business Leader exam, you should not have knowledge of SBR or AAA or AFM or APM or ATX, because SBL is right after the applied skill papers of ACCA. So what knowledge you should have, if any, which you should brought forward to your SBL paper. Now, this is the brought forward knowledge. Your knowledge from F1 paper, the AB paper, the F4 paper, the law, the F5 paper, the PM, the F7 paper, the financial reporting, the F8 paper, the AA, and the F9 paper, the financial management. It's not about you remember them. It's not about that if you have not done them and you were exempted from this paper, what would you do? Nothing. You should just be relaxed, because the course on the portal covers every aspect. So it's not like if something has been done in F5 or F7 and F8, it will not be done back again. But yes, ACCA believe when you are doing a paper at a strategic level, you have the knowledge coming from the applied skill level, because that's how the qualification structure has been put in by ACCA. So this is the carry forward knowledge, or the brought forward knowledge you're bringing with you, and that is somewhere in your mind or at the back of your mind when you're doing the SBL paper? What sort of things can come from your brought forward knowledge? Examples: leadership theories and styles, you must have done that somewhere in the F1 paper. Organization structures, you must have done that somewhere in the F1 paper. Menlo metrics, again, something in the F1 paper. Corporate governance, you must have done that in F1, F4, and F8 paper. Cost and management controls somewhere around the F5 paper. Internal control system somewhere in the F8 paper. Internal audit in the F8 paper. Ratio analysis in the F7 paper. And the risk management, the TARA model somewhere in the F9 paper. Some examples. So at least you get an idea that in SBL, most of the stuff will associate with your applied skill knowledge. But again, I'm repeating that if you were exempted from these paper, nothing to worry about, because all this will be covered in the course you have on the portal already. Now, this is the brought forward knowledge, right? Second, syllabus, the investigation of the syllabus. What is the SBL syllabus? Is it difficult? Is it challenging? Is it very broad? Let's investigate the syllabus. Now, in terms of the syllabus, I need to make an alert here that the syllabus is allocated among two tutors, myself, Kashif Kamran, and my colleague, Mr. Luqman Rafiq. Now, I have taken on board Mr. Luqman Rafiq from March 24 onwards, and Mr. Luqman Rafiq will be my colleague for SBL from this point onwards. So I have been changing tutors for the last 1 to 2 years and taking the student feedback with every tutor. So this time I have taken a more concrete decision of getting to one tutor which will sustain for a long term, and Mr. Luqman Rafiq will be there with me. You will really like his teaching style. He teaches very well, and he teaches just in the tone or temperament in which I teaches. So you will not find much of a difference between the way I am explaining things and between how Luqman Rafiq will be explaining things. You will find a lot of similarities between my style and his style of teaching as well. Now, there are 8 syllabus areas. I take 5, so I take majority of the syllabus area, but I'll also be telling you one thing more. Just wait for it. Syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. You can see the one highlighted in red, A, B, C, D, F. That is my syllabus area. So I'll take custody, responsibility, liability for those syllabus areas. Any questions should come to me. Leadership is my area. You can see in the bracket KK. KK means Kashif Kamran. B is governance. That is my syllabus area, KK. C is strategy, which is my syllabus area, and a very core syllabus area because it has a powerful impact on the paper. Risk has a powerful impact on the paper as well, and that is my syllabus area. And then it's about syllabus area E, technology. That is the syllabus area which Mr. Luqman Rafiq will be taking. But along with Mr. Luqman Rafiq, I will have a certain intervention in E as well. There would be some couple of lectures which will be conducted by me. So just a bit of blending will come from myself as well. But majority stuff in technology and data analytics will be taken by Mr. Luqman Rafiq. I will tell you when his lecture will be available shortly. Syllabus area F, organizational control and audit. That is my custody, Kashif Kamran. Then syllabus area G, finance and planning and decision making. That will be taken by Luqman Rafiq, LR. LR means Luqman Rafiq. And then the syllabus area H, enabling success and change management. That is an area which will be taken by Luqman Rafiq. But I will have a certain intervention there. So I will have a certain intervention. 5 syllabus areas, A, B, C, D, F belongs to Kashif Kamran, myself. But I will also be having some intervention in E, and I will be having some intervention in H, though it will majority be taken by Luqman Rafiq. Syllabus area G will purely be taken by Luqman Rafiq. So the percentage of weightage probably would be 75% belongs to Kashif Kamran and 25% belongs to Luqman Rafiq in terms of the whole syllabus. And I'm there to support you. Lukman Rafiq will be there to support you. So if you have any queries pertaining to EGH, you can post that in the group. Either myself or Lukman Rafiq will be answering it. And then syllabus area A, B, C, D, F, I am responsible. Is everyone clear with the syllabus breakup? I've already removed the lectures of the previous tutors from the portal. So you will not find the previous tutor lectures on portal anymore, as I'm conducting this orientation now. And in few days' time, Mr. Lukman Rafiq lectures will be available on the portal in the next 10 to 12 days. Is everyone clear with this? Any questions for the syllabus allocations among tutors? Okay, that's cleared. Sadia, thank you so much. Anyone else with any confusions, any queries, anything you would like to ask about? Okay, that's great. So the previous tutors have been removed. The portal is looking clean and fresh. I've added the sections of Mr. Lukman Rafiq on the portal. And as soon as I start getting his lectures, I'll keep uploading them and will be informing you on the WhatsApp group. Till that time, concentrate on my areas, A, B, C, D, F. Try to complete my syllabus areas as soon as possible before you start getting the lectures of Mr. Lukman Rafiq on the portal. And I'll tell you what is the exact timeline for that shortly. Is everyone cleared? Besides Sadia and Wasim, there are many other students in the live sessions. Are you all cleared? Okay, thank you so much. Because please don't try to make any confusions over the WhatsApp group, because the purpose of orientation is to make everything defined, clear, and structured. So there is no misunderstanding among the students. And I just want to keep everything transparent and with honesty, because if there is something, you need to be informed about that. Okay, let's move on from the syllabus allocation. Syllabus is not big, right? Because there are certain syllabus areas which has a carry forward effect, like leadership has a carry forward effect, governance has a carry forward effect, in a very pretty simple area. Strategy and risk is very, very important. Please mark it. This is very, very important from an examination point of view. Very, very important from an examination point of view. And so is E. E comes a lot. E comes a lot. Very, very important. E. So in the recent papers, we have seen a lot of E coming in. Organizational control and audit, not very important area. On and off, it keeps coming in. Enabling success and change management. This is also very, very important. So at least C, D, E, and H would be like very, very important, where you need to give a lot of focus and a lot of time. Okay, moving on. How to take control of the technical knowledge of the syllabus. I have some questions which comes to me each time. Student will ask me, how would I go about the technical knowledge? Do you need to read books? Number one. Number two, are technical articles sufficient? Number three, is it mandatory to read the technical articles? And number fourth, class notes, lectures, and support material, which is available on the portal. Is that sufficient along with technical articles to gain knowledge for SBL? I'll answer each one by one. Do we need to read books? And my answer to that is a big no. You are enrolled in a course which is very extensive. You have my notes, you have my support files, you have my lectures, and I, as a tutor, prefer reading articles. So you will see a lot of reinforcement in my lectures, read articles, and I keep emphasizing that. To me, reading articles is the most important thing in SBL, and that is the best way you can gain knowledge along with my lectures. Most of my lectures have incorporated the technical articles, have taken the material from technical articles, because to me that is important. Because articles is the mindset of the examiner. So if you want to read the mindset of the examiner, you want to know how something will be examined in SBL, how something will come in SBL, read the articles, not the books. So a big no on the books, right? And again, SBL is not a rote learn paper. It's a conceptual case study paper. So a case study paper doesn't need any book reading, particularly when you are enrolled in a course. Yes, if you are a self-study student, you should go for it. Are articles sufficient? Yes. And you have to read plenty of them. Is it mandatory to read technical articles? Yes. I will not take any excuse from any students that should I skip articles, because a lot of times students ask me this question in the last 10 days, 15 days before exam. Can I skip articles? No, not at all. You need to read the ones recommended by the tutor in the course. So wherever I recommend an article, read it. Class notes, lectures, and support material, which is available on the portal, is that sufficient? Absolutely, yes, to gain knowledge. Is everyone clear with these Q&A sessions? Any confusions or any question you would like to ask about the technical knowledge? Articles are must, book is no. My support on the portal is 100% clear, 100% absolute. Okay, that's great. Any further question you think is missed in the list for technical knowledge? Yes, sure. Sufyan, go ahead with your question. Okay, Sufyan, the answer to your question lies ahead. I have already made a timetable when to complete the course, when to start looking into the papers. So just wait for 15, 20 minutes and we'll come across that. Okay, Mehran, but the articles include some extra portion of knowledge. Yes, you have to cover that, Mehran. So you cannot skip articles, even they cover some extra portion of knowledge. I'll just tell you what you need to do with the articles, Mehran. So just wait for 5 minutes. Okay, now moving on. Approach to the technical knowledge. Assumed knowledge. Refresh this briefly. See, when you are watching my lecture on the portal, with every lecture, firstly, you will find my presentation. You will find a support file. A support file is what I am writing on the screen during a lecture. So if I'm conducting a lecture and I'm writing something on the screen, that is available on the portal. So whatever I am discussing with you in a lecture is available in the case of a support file and in a case of my presentation. So plenty of knowledge. So you're watching my lecture and you have my support file on your table. If you want to write something extra, you can just scribble on the support file, which you've already taken a printout of. And then you can supplement this by reading the article. Not every syllabus area, not every lecture will recommend you to read an article. But where I have recommended to read an article, please read it. So if you are looking at a lecture, watching a lecture, and I recommend that, yes, please read an article, then please do read it. And that article will supplement the knowledge you have taken from my video lecture and will supplement the knowledge which you have taken from my support files. So knowledge is important, right? Assumed knowledge. So you are going into the exam hall with knowledge, not rote learning. The knowledge has to be there about syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So you're going with that knowledge. So the tutors will give you that knowledge, myself and Luqman Rafiq. My video lectures and Luqman Rafiq video lectures, the notes of Luqman Rafiq, the note of Kashif Kamran, and then the support files. That is plenty of stuff to prepare you in terms of knowledge. The next thing, models. There are plenty of models in SBL. Students are reminded that they will not need to refer to model theories or principles, nor carry out detailed calculations in exams. Models are part of SBL, no doubt about that. Ratio analysis are part of SBL, but examining team is saying not carrying out detailed calculations in exam. Yes, some calculations could be part of SBL. A bit of calculator can be used in SBL, particularly in the syllabus area, which is about finance in planning and decision making, which Luqman Rafiq will be conducting. A bit of calculations. Students are reminded that they will not need to refer to models. Model isn't the best answer. Model isn't the best answer. You will learn this more from my webinars once you get to the practice side. So once you start the practice side of SBL, you will learn more about that model isn't the best answer. Yes, sometimes the model is very explicit or the model is very clearly given in the exam requirement. Then model is the best answer. But when the model isn't given in the exam requirement, wasting your time thinking about the model is useless. Right? So wasting your time choosing the model is useless because model in most of the cases will not be the good answer. But yes, when the model is explicitly given by the examiner in a requirement like Pestel or SWOT or Menlo metrics, then you need to answer a question according to that particular model. When you're going through the syllabus, make a summary of the models. So in whichever lecture you come across a model, just note it down. See by the end of the syllabus how many models you capture, and just make a summary of each model so that you can make your summarized notes of models. Is that clear to all of you? So you start from lecture 1 and you go down and down and down. So probably in almost every lecture, you come across a principle, or you come across a model, or you come across a theory. Just keep noting them down on a piece of paper. So by the end of the syllabus, you are prepared with all the models and all the theories. But if the question explicitly asks for a model and a theory, then answer it accordingly. Else, model isn't the best answer. You just need to answer the requirement set by the examiner, whatever the requirement is asking you. Is everyone clear with the technical knowledge? No rote learnings. It's all conceptual. It's just to have a clear mindset about syllabus areas and just to have knowledge, not rote learning the knowledge, because rote learning the knowledge is of no use in SBL paper. It's a integrated case study exam. Everything will be in the case study. So no bookish knowledge will be helping you. Okay. Now, effective September 23, which is not very far away from the time we're conducting this, not very far from the time we're conducting this orientation. This orientation is taking place on the 16th of December, 2023. There was some changes which were brought by the SBL examining team from September 23. So September 23 was the first exam sitting with the changes. And December 23 was the second exam sitting with the changes. And you people are going for 2024 exams, either March or June. So you will be entering into the third exam paper in March 24 with the changes which came in September 2023. So I just need to reinforce what has changed since September 23. And just to ensure that what has changed is that good, is that bad, because students just make fuss of everything. So I just need to also tell you that what has changed is that good. So I need to do a comparison prior to September 23 and post September 23. Has things become better in SBL or worse? Let's see how things have changed from September 23 in SBL paper. Syllabus is the same. Everything is the same in SBL, but the changes are now in front of your screen. There are 3 key changes which has come in since September 23, and I'll discuss each of them quickly with all of you. You will be covering these changes in my webinars at the end of the course. So once you have done the technical part of the syllabus and you go to the practice part of the syllabus, you will cover these changes in the webinars. But let's discuss what are the 3 key changes to SBL. You can see in front of your screen the 3 changes. Number 1, pre-seen case has come in. I'll just tell you what that is. Number 2, duration of exam has gone down. That's excellent. And number 3, the format of exam has changed a bit. It's not a drastic change in the format of the exam. It's just a slight change in the format of exam. So I'll write over here, slight. Duration of exam has come down, which is very good for the student. Instead of a 4-hour exams, it's now a 3-hour and a 15 minutes exam. So instead of 240 minutes, you now have 195 minutes. That is very much in line with all the strategic level papers of ACCA. Pre-seen case has come in. This is a big change. This is something new. And for the first time in the strategic level exams of ACCA, that they've brought a pre-seen case element. So 3 changes. Let's see, are we familiar with all of them? Let's go one by one in each one of them. Key summary of changes. Number 1, SBL is now a 3-hour and a 15 minutes exam, no more a 4-hour exam. Is everyone clear with that? I'll just be needing quick answers as we go through the summary of changes. So it's now a 3-hour and a 15 minutes exam. Now, when you do the old past papers will take how much time? The old past papers prior to September 23 will take how much time? 4 hours. But should you do the old past papers? SBL examining team recommends yes, because the technical content has not changed. The way the question will come in exam has not changed. The way the examining team will ask a question has not changed. The way you answer a question has not changed. So should you do the old papers? Yes. SBL examining team recommends you should. That is the reason they have not deleted them from the practice platform. So that is the reason it is still available there. So, but when you do the old papers, how much time the old papers will take? 4 hours, right? But when you do the new papers from September 23 onwards, how much time they should take? 3 hours and 15 minutes. So I would suggest that even when you are doing the old papers, do them under 3 hours and 15 minutes and see how much can you do. You will not do 100% of the old papers in 3 hours and 15 minutes because they were made for 4 hours. But see by the end of 3 hours and 15 minutes where you reach. So will you set a timer of 3 hours and 15 minutes even for the old papers and see how much you can do, like 70%, 80%? Because technically that paper was for 4 hours, right? But you're doing a 4-hour paper now under 3 hours and 15 minutes because you want to see where I reach by the end of 3 hours and 15 minutes. Or else you can even do it under 4 hours, provided you're not making any confusion for the day of the exam. Because you need to be equipped with 195 minutes. You are not equipped with 240 minutes. Is everyone clear with the first one? SBL is a 3 hours exam now, 3 hours and 15 minutes exam now. Okay, that's great. Next, introduction of a pre-seen case, 15 days before the exam. 15 days before the exam, you will get a pre-seen case from ACCA. I'll tell you where would you get it. How would I get it? How would you get it? But 15 days before the exam, so you have exams in March, so somewhere after the mid of February, you will get the pre-seen case and you will start reading it. The pre-seen case will tell you what, I'll just come to it. But pre-seen case is an information about the case study, which you will get on the day of exam, and ACCA will release some part of the information from that case study prior to the exam. Now that is saving the time. In the older structure, all the information was available on the day of exam. So it used to take a lot of reading time, 4 hours. 1 hour was kept for reading and planning time in the older structure. Now you have pre-seen, which gives you like 10 to 12 pages of reading at home. So 10 to 12 pages of reading at home, and you get to the exam hall with all that reading, and that reading is absorbed in your mind. So in the exam, ACCA has given you lesser time now, 3 hours and 15 minutes, because a lot of reading has been done at home, which is an advantage. So 3 hours and 15 minutes, this is a plus point. Pre-seen case is a plus point because you're sitting in the comfort of your home and you're reading the case study, pre-seen case. And the tutor will do a debrief with you. The tutor will also guide you about the pre-seen. The tutor will also give you ideas about pre-seen. And when you enter the exam hall, your pre-seen is right here in your mind. The pre-seen is absorbed here. And that will really help you write a good answer on the day of exam. Is that a positive point, number 2, all of you? Is that something favorable for students sitting at home and reading the pre-seen ahead of the exams? And the tutor will be helping you with that as well. So will that save a lot of reading time for all of you on the day of exam? Everyone? Okay, great. Thank you. Next. The number of tasks, the number of requirements, right? The requirements in SBL is known as a task, right? So the number of tasks in exams are now 3. Previously, you used to vary from minimum of to a maximum of 6. Now you just have 3 requirements, task 1, task 2, task 3. Before, it used to be up to 6, 5 and 6, maximum 6. So is that something positive for the student? Just looking at 3 requirements, 1, 2, 3. Now, yes, all 3 of them can have A, B or A, B, C. So 3 can have A, B, or at times C. But how many tasks are you looking? 3. Is that something easier? Yes, I'll be telling Khaldoon how the ACCA will tell you about the pre-seen when it is released, and how would you log in to get the pre-seen downloaded on your laptops. right? So is that something positive? 3 tasks. Previously, it used to touch 5 or 6. So this is also positive. Everything done by ACCA is positive for the students here. So 3 tasks now only. Next, each task will be on a separate window. You need to press the next button. You need to press the next button for viewing the next task. Just let me show you that. Each task will be on a new window. Can you see in front of you the practice platform? And can you see in front of your screen the practice, the specimen exam valid for September 23? This is the SBL specimen 2 valid for September 23 exams. ACCA has published 2 specimen exams for you to practice under 3 hours and 15 minutes. Right, so this is the specimen 2 valid from September 23. Can you see the window here? And can you see the task number 1 on the left side, all of you? Task 1 on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm just waiting for your answers. Can you see the task number 1 on the left-hand side of the screen where I've kept my cursor? Okay, so you have a task 1 on the first window. Can you see the other task 2 and 3 on the window? No. So task 1 on the 1 window. You open the task 1, you read the task 1, and you answer the task 1 in the word processor. Right? Then you press the next button. You press the next button on the bottom of the screen, next, and you go to the next window. Now see, can you see the task number 2 on the left panel? Right? Task 2. Then again, you press the next button after completing the task 2, next, and you go to the task 3. Okay, I'm really sorry. I think there is an electricity breakdown. I'll just connect back shortly. Okay, so what we were discussing was that on each window, you will see a task, right? So you click the next button and you come to the next task. So see, you can now see in front of your screen the task number 3. So you click the next button, task 2, you click the next button, task 3. So total of 3 tasks in the exam, and each task will be on a new window, and you need to read the task and answer it. And this is more in line with how we have the appearance in the other strategic level exams of ACCA said that one requirement is on one window in other exams of ACCA as well. Now, moving back, so this is something more favorable for students, that one window, one task, and they click next, and then they click next. So that's an easier thing for the student. So far, all the 4 changes are in favor of the student. Let's look at the change. Let's look at the 5th one. Each professional skill will be examined, and each skill will be tested once in the whole paper. Each skill will now be worth 4 marks. Previously, professional skill marks vary from 2 to 4, and one skill could be repeated multiple times. How many skills you have in SBL paper? 5 skills, right? So there are 5 skills in the paper, 5 skills. Now, from September 23, each of the skill will be tested, and each skill will have 4 marks. So 5 multiplied by 4 is equal to 20, and you have 20 professional marks in SBL. I hope you're all familiar with that. So each skill will come once in the whole paper, 100 marks, and each skill will have 4 marks. So previously, what used to happen, that out of the 5 skills, sometime 3 skills come, sometime 4 skills come. Or previously, what used to happen, that some skills could have 7 to 8 marks. Some skills could have just 2 to 3 marks. So that was quite, the allocation was not very appropriate. Now, from September 23 onwards, each skill will be examined, and each skill has been given 4 marks. So you are going to the exam hall knowing that I will get all the 5 skills in my paper, and I need to demonstrate all the 5 skills, and each skill will now be worth 4 marks. Is that clear to all of you? Will a skill be repeated in the same exam? No. So if you get a communication skill for 4 marks, it will not be repeated in any other task like task 2 or task 3. Or if you get a skepticism skill in task number 1 for 4 marks, it will not be repeated back again in task 2 or task 3. So each skill will be for 4 marks, and there are a total of 5 skills making 20 professional marks. Is point 5 clear to all of you before I move on? Okay, great. So 20 professional marks prior to September 23 and post September 23. That has not changed. But the way those 20 professional marks used to be structured has changed. So things have become more systematic now, that every skill will be tested and every skill will be worth 4 marks. But the proportion of 20 professional marks have not changed in the paper. Okay, Sufyan, what is your doubt? Go ahead, ask the question. Yes, the time has changed, right? 4 hours, sitting in 4 hours in the exam hall. Ask the students prior to September 23, how difficult was it to sit for 4 hours in exam hall, Sufyan? Because as a students for ACCA, for every paper, we are accustomed to sitting in exam hall for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So sitting an extra 45 minutes in exam hall and reading a very long case study in the exam, and remember the tension and the pressure you have in the exam, and you're reading so much information, retaining that so much information, and then producing the right answer was so difficult. Now, almost 10 to 12 pages you are reading at home. So that is a big reduction. And you're going down into the exam hall and you know, yes, I sit for 3 hours and 15 minutes in every exam, whether it is an SBR exam, or it is a AAA exam, or it is a AFM exam, or it is an APM exam. I sit for 3 hours and 15 minutes. So that is something positive for the student, right? I hope you're clear on that, Sufyan. Okay, so I hope you're familiar with the key summary of changes, what ACCA has tried to introduce since September 23. Now let's get to the pre-scene case, and let's discuss something about pre-scene case, because there were some questions of student around pre-scene which I need to answer as well. The pre-scene will be released 2 weeks before the March 24 exams and 2 weeks before the June 24 exams. Now, how would you access the pre-scene? What you need to do with pre-scene, and what is your responsibility and what is my responsibility on the pre-scene case, which will come 2 weeks before the exam, which is one of the biggest change, right, since September 23. Access to and the usage of the pre-scene for a student. Pre-scene release date. The pre-scene is part of SBL exam, and therefore students should take note of its release and date, which will be 2 weeks before the exam session. ACCA will communicate the release date to the students through appropriate communication channels. So they will email you, right? The appropriate date when the pre-scene will be released. And I will keep you updated in the WhatsApp group when the pre-scene will be released. Exactly the date, either 15th or 16th or 17th of Feb. So exact date will come from ACCA, and I will be telling you. And ACCA will also communicate that to you through emails. To access the pre-scene as a student, go to the exam planner where you book the exam. Go to the exam planner where you must have booked the SBL exam. Log into my ACCA, go to your exam planner, click on SBL booked under the exam planner with exam book within your plan. So within your plan, you can see the SBL booked. Click on that. Click on download links. Click on download links for the pre-scene information. Please see this very carefully as a student. Log into my ACCA, go to exam planner. In the exam planner, click on SBL booked within your plan and click on download, and you will see the pre-scene information. Is that clear to all of you? So this is how you will be accessing the pre-scene. I think there was a question from a student asking how to access pre-scene. I hope you're very clear on how to access pre-scene. I will also be telling this in the WhatsApp group a day before pre-scene, how to access pre-scene if you miss it out. Is everyone clear with this? Should I move on? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Students should plan in advance to access it as soon as it is released, because I think few days before it is released, ACCA will tell you when it is released. So you should plan it in advance to access it as soon as it is available, and set aside enough time. Set aside enough time to read and fully familiarize yourself with the content of the pre-scene. Don't just keep it for the last 2 days before exam, last 3 days before exams. Try to access it as early as possible and try to get familiarity with the content of the pre-scene. I'll tell you what is the right time to access the pre-scene and what is the right time to study the pre-scene when it is released 15 days before the exam. So this is the pre-scene release date. What is the objective of pre-scene? The primary aim of the pre-scene is to enable students to become familiar with the business activities of the case study organization and the industry in which it operates. So even before you enter the exam hall, ACCA wants you to become familiar with the business activities of the organization which will come in the real exam, and to see in which industry it operates. So ACCA will tell you in the pre-scene something about the industry and something about the organization, and they want you to become familiar with that. Familiarity with this important contextual information will help students to better understand and apply the further information that will be provided in the exhibits in the SBL exam. You will get additional exhibits on the day of exam, remember. So after you have read the pre-scene and you enter the exam hall, you need not to read the pre-scene again, because the pre-scene is right here, absorbed right here. But on the day of exam, you will get extra exhibits. Let me show you that. Go to the practice platform again, which we were referring to, and come to the first window where we had the task number 1. Okay. Can you see on the left panel exhibit number 1, exhibit number 2, exhibit number 3, and exhibit number 4? These are additional exhibits you have to read on the day of exam. This is not pre-scene, right? These are exhibits which will be available for you to read within 3 hours and 15 minutes. So can all of you see the 4 exhibits on the left panel? But the number of exhibits will remain 4. It will not increase or not decrease, right? That is also a big change. The number of exhibits will remain definitely 4. Is that clear to all of you? So these are extra exhibits to read on the day of exam, beside the pre-scene, which you've already read and entered the exam hall. I'm just waiting for your answers, please. Is that clear to all of you? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, can you see the pre-scene information given in the on the day of exam as well, that if you forget and you want to refer back to the pre-scene, will the pre-scene be there on the day of exam as well, which you've already read before entering the exam hall? So can you see a pre-scene element there on the left panel, that if you forget, you can refer back to pre-scene? So they have given you. But normally what I've seen students from September 23 and December 23, that they need not to refer to pre-scene. None of my students told me that I need to refer back to pre-scene, because they're so well prepared on pre-scene with the tutor debrief as well. So once I do the tutor debrief, the pre-scene is very well absorbed in your mind. So normally my student says that we need not to refer to the pre-scene on the day of exam. It's just about reading the 4 exhibits on the day of exam. So additional reading, right? Additional reading on the day of exam. But what ACCA is telling you in the bullet number 2, that because you have done so much reading before entering the exam hall, you know the organization, you know the industry. So perhaps reading the exhibits on the day of exam will become easier, because you will be familiar with the language, you will be familiar with the jargons, you are familiar with the industry. So reading those 4 exhibits will take a very less time on the day of exam. Is that bullet number 2 clear to all of you? Bullet number 3, the pre-scene is designed to provide background and context only, and will purposely not signal areas of syllabus or tasks to be assessed in the exam. This is the most important bullet, which all of you should listen to very carefully. Look at this bullet number 3. ACCA is telling us that the purpose of pre-scene is just to build the background, is just to build the context It's just to give you an overview. But the pre-scene is not the case study from which the exam requirement will come from. So if you see, oh, from this pre-scene, I will get an exam question. And as a tutor, I'll tell you this question will come. Or I'll tell you, oh, this syllabus area will come. This is wrong. Spotting the syllabus area is wrong. Spotting the question is wrong. That is what ACCA put as a disclaimer. ACCA believed that the purpose of pre-scene is just to build the context and just to make you familiar, so that on the day of exam, when you're reading the 4 exhibits, the reading of that becomes easier for you. But it does not signal areas of the syllabus or task to be assessed on the day of exam. Is that clear to all of you? Look at the blue line. Does not signal areas or tasks to come on the day of exam. From where will the requirement come from? The requirement will come from here. Can you see these exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4? The requirements will come from this exhibits on the day of exam. So the task number 1 will come from exhibits given on the day of exam. The task number 2 will come from the exhibits given on the day of exam, and the task number 3. Yeah, the pre-scene is just giving you an overview. It's just giving you an idea. And when you're writing the answer, some element of pre-scene can come in your answer spontaneously. You can make some connection of pre-scene with your answer where needed. It's not like you're linking pre-scene in every answer, impossible. But yes, pre-scene can link in some answers where possible. But pre-scene is not the 100% answer. Pre-scene is not the 100% answer. A lot of times student says, okay, I'll just write my answer from pre-scene. Wrong. Pre-scene is not the 100% answer. Pre-scene can be used somewhere in your answer where possible, where needed. But most of your answer will come from the exhibits given to you on the day of exam. And the requirements will come from the exhibits. So you cannot just spot the requirement and tell the tutor, can you tell me what question will come on the day of exam? That is absolutely wrong. Is everyone clear with this? How will task comes on the day of exam, and how would the pre-scene be used? So if you start believing that pre-scene is the answer, if you start believing pre-scene is the only source of answer, that is wrong. The answer will come from the exhibit information given on the day of exam. And I've already covered this in my webinars for September 23 and December 23, which you will watch later. Okay, just let's go back to the presentation. So bullet number 3, bullet number 4. Students will not be allowed to take into the exam their own annotated copy of pre-scene. So you say, oh, I have done annotation on my pre-scene. Can I take this to exam hall? No. You cannot take your own copy of pre-scene to the exam hall. You will be given the pre-scene on the day of exam. The pre-scene is available on the exam platform. We just seen that. So pre-scene will be there if you want to refer to it again. But can you take your own copy of pre-scene in the exam? No. So this is pre-scene aim and objective. Pre-scene format. There will be 2 parts of the pre-scene information. That is the industry information and the information that relates to the organization. So there will be 2 parts of the pre-scene. One part about the industry, one part about the organization. The industry information. ACCA will continue to base the case study exam on an industry or a sector of an economy. It could be a fashion industry, a technological industry, an automobile industry. Student needs to familiarize themselves with the information provided in the pre-scene, even if they are already familiar with the industry. Suppose the industry is automobile and you're very familiar with the automobile industry. ACCA is saying that you should still read the industry overview given to you by ACCA, even though you know the industry. This is because for the purpose of SBL exam, certain facts about the industry may be simplified. So ACCA will give you some simplified facts about the automobile industry or a technological industry or about the fashion industry. And they want you to read those facts about the industry so you have a familiarity with the industry that will come on the day of exam. Number 2, organization information. The organization in the pre-scene is fictitious. and will not represent a real organization. So a lot of time when we read a case study, we'll say, oh, this is about Nestle. Oh, this is about McDonald's. This is about Coca-Cola, or this is about Pepsi. This is about Nike. No, ACCA is saying the information in the exam is about an organization that is fictitious and will not represent a real organization. The pre-scene will contain information such as when, where, and how the organization was formed, its products and services, process, suppliers and customers, its ownership, governance, selected financial data, the future outlook, risk and challenges, developments and strategy, so on and so forth. So they will tell you about organization governance, organization structure, organization risk, organization financial data, when was the organization formed, who are the owners of the organization, who are the stakeholders of the organization. So they will give you plenty of an idea about the organization, and that will help you understand the organization very well before the day of exam. So pre-scene will always be in two parts, and September 23 pre-scene and December 23 pre-scene, which has already been covered on the portal, roughly has 12 pages. 12 pages of information. So see, that is plenty of information to make you used to. You can watch the previous pre-scenes to have an idea what the tutor do in debrief. So if you know what a tutor do in a debrief, just watch the previous debriefs I've done and it's available on the portal, but not now, once you've completed the syllabus. So you have an idea what exactly goes in a pre-scene, right? So this is what a pre-scene is. 15 days before exams, you get it, and you have to read it. You need to understand it. You need to make a summary of it. You need to make a notes of it so that you can absorb it. I will do a debrief 7 days before exam because ACCA tells that first 7 days belongs to the student. The last 7 days belongs to me, where I will do a debrief and upload that on the portal so that you can access the debrief and then can make a summary according to the tutor of the pre-scene. Okay, now that is bringing to using the pre-scene. Students should read the pre-scene to fully understand the activities of the industry and organization. Student will need to spend time familiarizing themselves with the industry terms and activities, including the products and services the industry provides, the type of customers, etc. So you need to spend time to get familiarity with the pre-scene. Student may do some research to better understand the terminologies and activities of the industry. Some research. Suppose there is a difficult terminology in the pre-scene. You can just go on the Google and search the meaning of that terminology. Now see, if this was your real exam, when it used to be 4 hours, Sufyan was asking that question. When it was a 4 hours exam and you have to read everything in 4 hours, there was a difficult terminology in the case. How would you know the meaning? See, you have an opportunity, Sufyan, that you can now do some research, because if there is a difficult terminology in the pre-scene, you have an opportunity of going on Google and searching what does it mean. Will that really help you on the day of exam? Definitely, because that difficult term, if come to a real exam, you don't have an option to go to a Google, right? But that difficult term has been given to you before exams so that you can research and get the meaning of it. However, there is no expectation that students undertake further research. It's not about you go on Google and start searching more about the automobile industry, more about fashion industry. No, just be within the boundary given by ACCA. Yes, within the information given to you by ACCA, if there is something difficult, get the meaning of it. Search on the Google, what's the meaning? That is it. That is it. It's not about you get a case on automobile industry and you go to the Google and search more about automobile industry. Waste of time, because it's only the pre-scene you have to read. It is important to emphasize that SBL exam is based on a fictitious organization, and the exam task will relate to the organization specifically and not to journal research. So nothing will come out of your journal research, right? Everything will come out of the information given by ACCA in the pre-scene and on the day of exam. So you're wasting your time if you're doing a journal research. So you can just research for the terminologies and meanings of the terminologies. Students should ensure that they're very familiar with the content of pre-scene prior to the exam. They should know where to find information within the pre-scene. So pre-scene should absorb in your mind very well. So if you go to the exam hall and you forget the pre-scene, that will be wasting your time to go back and see it again. And you just have 3 hours and 15 minutes now, right? So you should absorb the pre-scene so well that on the day of exam, you're not referring back to pre-scene. Is that clear? How would you be using the pre-scene 15 days before exams once it's available? And I will be interacting with you on the WhatsApp 15 days before exams, exactly telling you what to do. Okay. What to avoid with pre-scene? What to avoid? Avoid extensive research. Number 2, avoid speculating on the areas of the syllabus that will be examined. Avoid speculating. What will come? What will come? Ask the tutor, can you tell me what will come from the pre-scene? No, that is not allowed by ACCA. Avoid using the pre-scene as the main source of material in answering the requirement. Look at number 3, all of you. Look at number 3, all of you. This is for you. Read this, and tell me, is it clear? All of you read this. Is pre-scene the source of answering the requirement, main source of answering the requirement? Is pre-scene the main source of answering the requirement? Yes or no? Tell me. No. Then what is the main source of answering requirement? All of you. What is the main source of answering requirements? The exhibits on the day of exam. Very good. Yes. But can some element of the pre-scene be quoted in the answer? Can some element of pre-scene be used in the answer? Yes. But can 100% answer be developed from pre-scene? No. Very good. Very good. All of you. Number 4, avoid reading the pre-scene for the first time just before the exam session. Will you read the pre-scene a day before exam? Yes or no? Will you read the pre-scene a day before exam? No. How much time before exam? At least 7 to 10 days before exams. So you start becoming familiar, right? Avoid spending too much time on pre-scene at the expense of revising areas of the syllabus and completing the practicing of mock exam. Look at number 5. Read it and tell me, are you clear with number 5? Just read it within 10-15 seconds. In the last 15 days, will you only do the pre-scene? Every day, 24 hours for the last 15 days, will you just do pre-scene? Or will you keep time for practicing, revising the syllabus, doing the mock exam? Right? So not all the last 15 days is for pre-scene. How much time will pre-scene take? 12 pages to read. How much time will that take? 1 hour? 1 hour is a sufficient time to read through the pre-scene. The next day, another 1 hour. The next day, another 1 hour. And that keeps absorbing. Once you make your notes of pre-scene, hardly 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day and you're revising it. So 30 minutes a day each day and you're revising the pre-scene. Reading how much time? Just 2 times, Sufyan, and make your notes. So read once, read twice, make your notes. 1 hour a day. 1 hour on day 1, 1 hour on day 2, make your notes. Then after that, once you've made your notes, you're not reading the pre-scene, you're reading your notes. 30 minutes a day, revising it. Is that clear, Sufyan? Great, thank you. Avoid question tipping and spotting. Is that clear? So will we tip a question? Will I give you a tip of a question? Will I spot a question? Will you spot a question? No, because we're not sure what will come on the day of exam. Right? So this is what to avoid. Okay. Exam papers with changes incorporated. ACCA has published 2 specimen exams, effective September 23, and 1 real September 23 exam, where you can do things in 3 hours and 15 minutes with the pre-scene. So if you want to practice with 3 hours and 15 minutes, if you want to practice with the pre-scene, there are 2 specimen exams for that and 1 real September 23 exam. The December 23 exam is not yet uploaded. If it gets uploaded, I'll inform you. But the September 23 exam is already uploaded on the practice platform, and 2 specimen exams effective September 23 is available. Let me just show you that. You go to the practice platform and you go to the catalog. I hope you can see the catalog. In the catalog, you go to SBL, ACCA Official Resources, Past Exam Library. In the Past Exam Library, can you see this exam paper here, September 23? Right over here. I just highlighted that in blue. September 23 exams, the first one with the changes. So can you do this one exam for 3 hours and 15 minutes? Number one. Okay, in the past exam library. Then you go to the specimen exams. Can you see the 2 specimen exams valid for September 23? 2 specimen exams valid for September 23, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 valid for September 23. All of you, right? So 2 specimen exams valid for September 23 and 1 real exam. So can these 3 papers be done under the time management of 3 hours and 15 minutes with the pre-scene? Rest all papers are of 4 hours prior to September 23. Okay, now my role in pre-scene and then moving towards the winding up session of this orientation. Tutor role in pre-scene. Ask student to carefully read the pre-scene, which I will ask you in the WhatsApp group once the pre-scene is released, and note down relevant information under each of the main syllabus areas, that is leadership, governance, strategy, risk, and so on. Also, link between the syllabus areas should be highlighted by the student. Example, governance and risk. This could be done by the student independently. Now, once you get the pre-scene and you have covered, Farhan, I'm just getting to that answer. Once you've done the pre-scene and once you start reading the pre-scene, one good approach is that because you have done the syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, and you know everything from every syllabus area. So when you're reading the pre-scene, you might get something in the pre-scene which you think, oh, it relates with leadership. Oh, this relates with governance. Oh, this relates with risk. This relates with strategy. This relates with finance and planning and decision making. So you can break down the pre-scene into 8 syllabus areas. So wherever you're reading the pre-scene and you think this section of pre-scene relates with syllabus area B, bracket and write governance. Some area relates with risk, bracket and write risk. So you can break down the reading of the pre-scene when you're reading it for the first time into different syllabus areas. And at the end of the reading, see how many syllabus areas were incorporated in the pre-scene. Are you getting this point, everyone? So once I do the debrief, I will do this way. I will break the pre-scene into different syllabus areas to see which syllabus areas were emphasized in the pre-scene. Not spotting the question, not spotting that a question will come from governance, not spotting a question will come from risk. We are just breaking the pre-scene into different syllabus areas for the sake of understanding that, okay, this is risk, this is governance, this is leadership, this is finance and planning and decision making. So we can relate the pre-scene with what we have learned. So relating pre-scene with what you've learned. Is that clear to all of you? So once I do the debrief, you will get a better idea. You can watch my previous debriefs on the portal. Facilitate a group discussion where student analyses are pulled in. I'll do that 7 days before exams. I'll do a live session on pre-scene debrief. You all will come to that live session if you want to. Otherwise, the recordings will be available. In the live session, I'll do a debrief. You can ask me questions. I'll answer your questions. So at the end of that debrief, we'll have a summary. And that summary will come to you. You take a printout and you, for the last 7 days, you follow that summary. Because that summary will be a blend of my analysis and a blend of your analysis. And that summary for the last 7 days will be an effective documentation. Is that clear to all of you? So 7 days before exams, be prepared for a live session on pre-scene debrief, where I will do the debrief, make a summary for you, and that summary will be followed for the last 7 days before your exams. And that will really help you absorb the pre-scene. Student, just one last minute. Student must be reminded that the answers which they craft in the exam must be aligned with the pre-scene case study. So there should be a certain blend of pre-scene in your answers. Again, not all answers will be developed from pre-scene. We've already discussed that. But yes, a certain element of pre-scene can reflect in certain answers, not 100% answers, but in certain answers, some elements of pre-scene can be reflected. But pre-scene is not 100% of your answer. Pre-scene is not 100% of your answer. Sorry, technical and professional marks finally. You know, in the paper, SBL, there are 80 technical marks and 20 professional marks. And primarily, we need to cover both of them just to have an idea in this orientation session. Okay, technical marks, how to grab them. 2 marks per well-developed point, depth of explanation, and well-applied or connected to case. For every point you write in SBL, you get 2 marks. So if you have a 10 marks question, you divide that by 2 and you write 5 points. You have a 6 marks question, divide by 2, write 3 points. 2 marks per well-developed point. But depth of explanation. Every well-developed point in SBL is 3 to 4 sentences long. 3 to 4 sentences long, not less. 1 to 2 sentences is not a well-developed point. 3 to 4 sentences, not longer than this. SBL examining team does not like a paragraph longer than 4 sentences. Again, I'm repeating. SBL examining team does not like a paragraph longer than 4 sentences. So if you want to write a longer paragraph, break it after 4 sentences. Start a new paragraph. But each well-developed point is like 4 sentences long. And it should be well connected with the case. Well connected with the case. It should be well applied to the case, and it should have a depth. Depth means 4 sentences. So if you follow depth, and that is well connected to the case study, where possible, it has a blend from the pre-scene, that is a well-developed point. 2 marks per well-developed point. This is the technical side of SBL. So easy. And you will learn this from my webinars and my practice sessions. Professional marks, professional skill marks. There are 5 professional skills in your SBL paper. The communication skill, to express clearly and convincingly through appropriate medium while being sensitive to the needs of the intended audience. You will learn this. Probably reading this statement is of no use because you will learn this application once you get to my practice phase. But communication means to express something clearly and convincingly using the right format. So if the examiner is saying write a letter, write a memo, write a briefing note, write a report, write a press release. So that format is also part of communication. To express clearly and convincingly. Whatever you are writing, whatever you're communicating has to be convincing, well connected to the case study, well connected to what the examining team is asking you. Because half the time, the student does not understand what the examining team is asking. If you understand the requirement, there are 100% chances that you will be convincingly expressing yourself. But if you're not understanding the requirement, how would you write a convincing answer? Tell me. So convincing versus what the requirement is asking you. So convincing versus requirement. See what the requirement is asking you. And are you justifying your answer according to the requirement? Are you adapting your answer according to the requirement? That is where you express clearly and convincingly. Format. So that's one area where you can fetch upon your communication skill marks. When you are communicating, it should be very clear, like headings and subheadings. We know headings and subheadings are part of SBL paper. So you put answer in headings and subheadings because the communication has to be clear. See, I am communicating with you. Look at the paragraph. I'm showing you there are 5 skills, but currently you can only see 1 skill on the screen. I'm not clustering the screen because it would be ineffective communication. So headings and subheadings, convincingly, that is how you do a communication. Moving to the next one. Commercial acumen. To demonstrate awareness of the wider business and external factors affecting business using commercially sound judgments and insights to resolve issues and exploit opportunities. Now tell me, have you entered the exam hall with the pre-seen information? Do you know about industry? Do you know about the organization? Do you have awareness? You cannot say, I don't have awareness. You have awareness, right? You have awareness from 12 pages you read before entering the exam hall. Awareness. Awareness of the wider business and external factors affecting the business. You have it. But when you're writing the answer and you're trying to write an opportunity for the business, should that opportunity connect with the awareness you have built up? Because from that awareness, you will get to know the opportunities of business. From that awareness, you will get to know the threats of the business. From that awareness, you will get to know what are benefits to the business. Benefits, opportunities, how something will benefit the organization. Because commercial acumen is to look at the how something will favorably impact the organization. How something will favorably impact the organization. Acumen, commercial acumen. So when you exercise a judgment, try to exercise that judgment within the context of the organization. How will that affect the organization? How will that benefit the organization? A lot of time, examining team ask you, for example, they ask you to write what are benefits of big data, or what are benefits of cybersecurity. You write journal benefits of cybersecurity from the BPB book. Have you demonstrated awareness of how the benefits of cybersecurity links to the given organization? Tell me. Have you demonstrated how the benefits of cybersecurity links to the given organization? No. So a lot of time the questions in SBL ask you to write benefits, advantages, opportunities, but you write those opportunities and benefits which you've learned from the BPP and Kaplan book. You are not adapting them to the circumstances. You're not adapting them to the awareness you got from the pre-scene. So any student who adapts the benefit according to the organization, who adapts the opportunities according to the organization, is he demonstrating commercial acumen? Tell me. Adapting according to the awareness of the organization, is that what commercial acumen means? All of you? Is everyone clear what to do for commercial acumen? Is to connect with the organization, is to connect with the organization. Awareness of the organization comes in. Okay, next one. You people are all very lazy in answering, right? So just moving on to the next one. Number 3, analysis. Sufyan, you have to use the judgments, right? Just 1 minute, sorry. Use commercially sound judgments and insights to resolve issues. You need to take judgments, you need to exercise judgments according to the situation given in the exam paper. When you're writing an action, or you're writing a recommendation, you're writing a benefit, you're writing how to overcome a threat. So that has to be in context of that particular organization. So you need to focus on the automobile industry, or you need to focus on the fashion industry, that how will this particular industry overcome it? So this is the central idea here, right? Awareness. Awareness has to be reflected in your answer. Yes, according to the circumstances, right? And again, you will watch my webinars, right? Because these are just explanations of the skill. How to demonstrate them will come with practice. Analysis. To thoroughly investigate and research information from a variety of sources provided in the case study and logically process it. Whenever you are analyzing something, you need to take the broad picture. See what is written here. Variety of sources provided. So if you're analyzing something, you need to look at the big picture. When you're analyzing something, you need to look at the 360 degree, the complete picture, 360 degree. More information. So something will come from pre-scene, something will come from the exhibit given on the day of exam. Analyzing means to go in depth of the information provided. Analyzing means to dig from the information, the best possible information. Variety of sources provided, analyze it. So analyze means a deep investigation within the information provided to you on the day of exam. So if you just use a selected information, that will be useless. You need to use broad information to analyze something on the day of exam. So analyze. Skepticism. And even analysis also means to look at the pros and cons. Analysis also means to look at the good side and the bad side, because analysis means to look at the complete picture. So when you're asked to analyze something, You will also be looking at the favorable side and the adverse side, because most of the time when you're analyzing something, you have to give a conclusion. Skepticism, to probe, to question, to challenge the information and views, and to fully understand business issues and establish facts objectively. Be skeptical. If the management is having a viewpoint, question the management viewpoint. Ask management why. Because in most of the SBL questions, you will be a business consultant. You will be a business advisor. You will be advising the business. You will be consulting a business. So if you are a consultant, if you are an advisor, and you have been hired by the business will have a view on something. Suppose business have a view on introducing the big data, or benefits of big data, or they have a view on cybersecurity, or they have a view on e-marketing. So you need to challenge their views. You're not favoring their views. You need to be skeptical of their views. If something is wrong in the views, question it. If something is right in the views, good. But if something is wrong in the views, challenge it. So challenging, probing, questioning, asking why, because you are a consultant, you are an advisor in most of the SBL cases. And lastly, evaluating, to carefully assess situation, proposals, and arguments in a balanced way. So the need of the pros and cons analysis is more vital in evaluation than assessing. In assessing, you need to use the depth of information. In evaluation, you are using the depth of information, but you're looking at it in a balanced way. What does balanced way mean? Looking at the strength and the weaknesses, looking at the good and the bad, looking at the advantages and disadvantages, balanced. If I just look at the advantages, that is not balanced because I ignored disadvantages. If I just look at the strengths, that is not balanced because I ignored weaknesses. So evaluation means to have a balanced view, looking at both the sides of the picture, the side A of the picture, the side B of the picture. Is that clear to all of you? So analysis and evaluation are very closely connected. The only difference is that in analysis, you use the range of information, and in evaluation, you use the balanced view. And more comes from the practice. So remember, there are 5 skills in the paper. How much marks will be allocated to each skill in the paper? Now, for exams, 4 marks. Each skill will have 4 marks, right? And will any skill be repeated on the day of exam out of the 5? No, that's very good. So my message has gone very well. Okay, professional marks, how to grab them? To earn professional marks, you need to demonstrate the professional skill as requested by the examining team. How would you demonstrate the skill? You will learn this from my webinars when you start looking into the practice side of it. So I'm not touching upon it, but this demonstration is a very emphasizable part in my webinars. Carefully read the professional mark statement to see how the skill is to be demonstrated. So when the examining team tells you that you need to demonstrate a commercial acumen, they will also tell you how. So read that very carefully. Or if the examining team tells you that you need to demonstrate a communication skill, they will tell you how. Or if they're telling you you need to demonstrate the skepticism skill, they will tell you how. You need to read that statement very carefully to demonstrate that in the same manner the examining team want you to demonstrate it. You will learn this from my webinars. Exactly, do the same to fetch marks. So do what the examining team is asking to fetch the marks. So if the examining team is asking you to do something in a given fashion, then demonstrate that in the same way to get the marks. There are journal professionalism marks as part of professional marks as well, which use proper format. So if you use proper formats, you're getting the journal professionalism marks out of 20. Headings and subheadings. No paragraph should be more than 3 to 4 sentences long. Avoid repetition. Don't repeat things in the same answer. An answer is well connected to the case. Look at this. Look at this 5 bullets. Can you all make a habit of doing this when you submit assignments to me? Proper formats, headings and subheadings. No paragraph should be 4 sentences long. Avoid repeating points. And answer is well connected to the case. Can you make this a habit when you start practicing from the day 1 up to the day of exam? So at least the journal professionalism will come in your answer. Now, apart from journal professionalism, you need to demonstrate a skill. Now that demonstration of skill will come in the last 15 to 20 days before exam. When you go into the webinars, when you start watching the webinars, you will develop a habit of demonstrating a skill. But can you develop an easy habit on the right-hand side of the screen from day one to day? Tell me. On the right hand of the screen, can you see the 5 bullets? Can you develop this habit? And on the left-hand side of the screen, is that a habit which you will develop over time? Yes or no? On the left-hand side of the screen, is that a habit which will come with time, right? So please excel the professional marks, because any student who excel the professional marks will pass in the very first attempt of SBL. Okay, time management. I've already mentioned the time management is 3 hours and 15 minutes. I've already done a video for December 23 students on time management. The link of that time management video is right here. I will also put this video on the portal under the orientation so that you don't waste time searching the video. So right after the orientation for March and June, I will put the time management video so that at least you know what is the time management and how to go about 195 minutes, how to break this 195 minutes between task 1, task 2, task 3, and how to break this 195 minutes between writing, and how to break this 195 minutes between reading and planning. Reading and planning. Because you still need to read on the day of exam, right? There are 4 exhibits. So all that is in the video. It is available on the YouTube, right? The link given is of my YouTube channel. Else I will be putting it on the portal. Okay, how to use the course on the portal. Now, currently, only my course is available. Mr. Luqman Rafiq course will come in few days. So I will just be telling you the timelines of that as well. But currently, if you look at my course on the portal, A, B, C, D, and F, how would you go about wrapping it up as quickly as possible before Mr. Luqman Rafiq share his course with all of you? This is how the course looks like on the portal. Syllabus area A, B, leadership, governance, and ethics. Syllabus area C, strategy. D, risk, and F, internal controls. This is all the technical part of the course, which you will see right at upfront. After the orientation, you will see A, B, C, D, and F, right? 30 lectures, which is covering the technical side. 19 lectures for leadership, governance, and ethics. 5 lectures for strategy, 4 for risk, and 2 for internal controls. You can look at the number of hours each area has been given. Total hours are 44. So 44 hours of technical content. Now, I will give you a timeline, and you need to decide that within the timeline, how early will you wrap up these 44 hours? After 44 hours, these 44 hours also include a bit of practice. These 44 hours are not without practice. It has practice, but mostly this is technical. Then after completing those 44 hours, you have another 39 hours, which is the core practice, exam drilling and practice sessions, 7 lectures of 17 hours, webinars for December 22, March 23, and December 23, 17 lectures of 18 hours, and then the mock debrief for June 23, 4 lectures of 4 hours. This is practice. 39 hours of practice and 28 lectures. So you accumulate that. So it's roughly like 83 hours. 83 hours is the total coverage of my syllabus, Kashif Kamran, which includes the technical part and which includes the core part. 83 hours. And how many lectures? 58 lectures. 58 lectures and 83 hours. Is that clear? On the bottom of the screen, you can see extra. The extra is basically the pre-scene cases of September and December. If you want to watch the previous pre-scenes, just for an idea, you can do it at the end of the course. So 4 hours, 6 hours of lecture, for the pre-scenes, the previous pre-scenes, if you want to use them. Otherwise, no use to use, no need of that. But the actual content, what you're using is 83 lecture hours and 58 lectures in total. Is everyone clear with that breakup on your screen between technical and core, between 30 lectures and 28 lectures? Right? So you know how many lectures to cover? 58. How many hours to cover? 83. Now let's see what is the timeline. Luqman Rafiq will cover the syllabus area E, G, and H. The technical content for each of these three syllabus areas will be uploaded by 30th December. The practice content will be available by the 15th of January 2024. I'll share a grid and table just like mine after the course is uploaded by Luqman Rafiq. So I'll be sharing the same breakdown, this same breakdown of Mr. Luqman Rafiq EGH between number of lectures and number of lecture hours and the practice, so that you know, okay, how much more lectures and how much more hours. So at least you can find it more effective. So I'll do an addendum to orientation. And in that addendum to orientation, I'll guide you about Mr. Luqman Rafiq number of lectures and number of lecture hours for EGH technical side and practice side, so that you can devise a timetable for covering EGH later. But what is your first priority before Mr. Luqman Rafiq gets the content by 30th December on board? Go with A, B, C, D, F. Finish it off as quickly as possible. I will prefer that by the 15th of January, you're done with my content. So you have a month. In a month time, finish my content, A, B, C, D, F, and start doing the practice. After 15th of December, from the 15th of Jan to the 15th of Feb, you can spend time on EGH of Mr. Luqman Rafiq. Is that right for all of you? And you can make your own timetables, right? Yes, the pre-scene case is not to be watched, right? If you want to watch it, it's extra, Sufyan. That's why I put a cross there. Because the pre-scenes are of the previous papers, right? Not of your paper. Okay, so is that fine? From now till 15th of January, plan my syllabus areas. And from 15th January to the 15th Feb, plan Mr. Luqman Rafiq area. You can keep a lesser time for Luqman Rafiq area because the content is less, EGH. So even you can take my syllabus areas to the 21st of February, 21st of January. And from 21st of January to the 15th of Feb, you should finish off Mr. Luqman Rafiq. Just 1 minute. I think there is a confusion from Alyan. Alyan, there are total number of lectures. The total number of lectures, basically, if you look at the total number of lectures, 30 and 28, there are total 58 lectures, Alyan. And the total time zone of these 58 lectures is approximately 83 hours. 83 hours is the time span of these 58 lectures. Is that clear, Alyan? Okay, so you will get Mr. Luqman Rafiq. I prefer that you start Mr. Luqman Rafiq either from 21st of Jan and take it up to the 15th of Feb. But try to finish off my syllabus area with practice first, number one, please. Then start with Mr. Luqman Rafiq, knowing, okay, I've done A, B, C, D, F of Mr. Kashif Kamran. I've done the webinars of Mr. Kashif Kamran. Now for the last few days, I just need to focus on Mr. Luqman Rafiq, EGH. 21st of Jan to the 15th of Feb. I hope that is a sufficient time to finish off. Or as early as possible, you complete my syllabus area, jump into Mr. Luqman Rafiq. Right? Okay. How to go with course? Go in order of the portal. So in which order the course is available, but I have tell you that you will first do A, B, C, D, F in the order. You finish off my webinars because currently you will not see any course of Mr. Luqman Rafiq on the portal as it gets uploaded. So you have an opportunity of just going over my course in order. Complete the course by 15th Feb all together, my and Luqman Rafiq, right? 15th of Feb. Please, Farhan, if you can stop writing on the screen, that will be great enough. This is not the manner of the live class that you start writing on the screen if you're frustrated. Okay, complete the course by the 15th of Feb 2024. So what is this deadline? Is this deadline only for me, 15th of Feb 2024? No, this is for the whole course, because 15th or 16th of Feb, you will get the pre-scene. So once you get the pre-scene, you need to prepare that. And you need to do the practice. You need to do the mock exam. So by the 15th of Feb, please wind up. You have 2 months to finish off the syllabus for March 24 exams. And 15th of May, if you're preparing for June 24 exams. So please mark your calendars. Please mark your calendars, right? 15th of Feb for March students and 15th of May for June students. 100% course completed. All syllabus areas. So you can put more time on the pre-scene, mock, and the practice of the past papers. Read all the articles recommended during the course, please. Prepare your own notes going through the lectures and reading articles. So while you're going through my lectures and articles, make your own notes along with my notes provided. The tutor will discuss and guide you about the pre-scene once it is available in the WhatsApp group. So please be alert to that. And the pre-scene debrief will be uploaded a week before the exam, as I have just guided you. You can submit me as many assignments you are doing of the past papers on my email ID, sblkashifkamran@gmail.com. From the 18th of December, I will start answering all the assignments. Roughly 2 to 3 working days are taken for the assignments to be responded. And the last date to submit assignments is 20th of February. No assignments after 20th of February for the March students, and no assignments after 20th of May for the June students. Google Drive. This is the link to the Google Drive. I'll also share the Google Drive in the WhatsApp group. Extra resources like the past papers, like the technical articles to read, are all there on the Google Drive. So extra resources. When you're watching my lecture and I tell you to read something, you will find that reading on the Google Drive. So you can refer to the Google Drive for all the readings the tutor is recommending you in the lecture. Final revision. Revision through Dr. Dinu 100 series. I'll just show you that. Go through Dr. Dinu 100 series document, as it gives you the holistic overview and a quick revision in the last 2 weeks before exam. The Dr. Dinu is available in the Google Drive. But in the last 15 days, you will use Dr. Dinu. You can even use it during the coverage of the course if you want to, but I'll prefer you do it in the last 15 days. Reading page number 38 onwards. So you will start reading from the page number 38 onwards. Avoid pages 81, avoid pages 81 and 111. As these are areas now deleted from SBL syllabus. Avoid reading the page 81 and 111 because these are deleted syllabus areas. Rest you can read all from page number 38 onwards. And this is an excellent coverage of your revision in the last 15 days before exam. And the Dr. Dinu document is available on the Google Drive. If I can just show you that as well. I hope you can see the Google Drive on your screen now, all of you. And can you see the folder number 3, Dr. Dinu 100 series? It has a PDF document. Can you all see the folder number 3 on your screen, please? Okay, great. So this is what you can use in the last 15 days for your revision. There are many folders on your screen, 10 things to learn from September 28 exams. You can read through this. It tells you the mistakes the student do in SBL. Articles to read is right over here. Dr. Dinu 100 series. Examiner reports to read. So I have given 2 examiner reports here, the latest 2 examiner reports. Please find time to read the examiner reports in the last 15 days before exams. Importance of effective communication, the formats. A lot of times the student asks how to write a letter, how to write a memo, how to write a report. The formats are given here. So please ensure you're reading the formats from here. Past papers, the old past papers not available on the practice platform is given here. Tutor notes of my syllabus areas is being given under this folder, and webinars to success, the previous webinars and the resources are given here if you want to use them. So this is additional support wherever you think a tutor is referring to a document. Where will you find the document? You will find the document in the Google Drive, right? So I hope You must have benefited from this long orientation guiding you all things about like a final revision, which you will do in the last 15 days, using the Google Drive for all resources, how to go with the course, when to complete the course, when to complete my syllabus areas, when to complete Mr. Lukman's syllabus areas, when to submit assignments, on which email ID to submit assignments for, making a timetable from 16th of December till the 15th of February, where you will keep 21st of January to the 15th of February exclusively for Mr. Lukman and the rest of the time to my syllabus areas. My syllabus areas is right in front of your screen. 58 lectures to be done. So make a timetable. How would you complete these 58 lectures by the 21st of January? Any further questions from your site which you think I have missed out? Please do rewatch the orientation again. I'll be putting this on the portal in the next couple of hours. So you can just rewatch if you missed out something and just start going with the syllabus now. And I wish you the very best of luck for your upcoming exams for March 24 as well as for June 24. And I hope you will effectively utilize the course on the portal. Any confusions, any problems, I'm there on the WhatsApp to help you out. So you can just post a question and I will be replying to it as effectively as possible. Yes, Sufyan, go ahead with your question before I wrap up. You can do any paper prior to September 23 because at least it's giving you the practice of the requirements of the professional marks because that has not changed. So you can still do papers, even the mock papers prior to September 23 because they would be really important for you in terms of practicing the types of questions because there is a repetition in SBL. So you might find the same question coming to your exam setting. Yes, Mr. Lukman will be uploading his lectures section by section, starting with E first. So once E is uploaded, I'll update you in the WhatsApp group. So I'll keep updating you in the WhatsApp group when every section of Mr. Lukman will be uploaded. Is that clear? Thank you. So I wish you all the very best of luck. Study effectively, make a timetable, stick to your timetable. And if you have any further questions, I'm there in the WhatsApp group to answer you.